Welcome back to Tarot by the Bay. I'm David. Breaking news: Steve Scalise has dropped out as in his run to become the House Speaker. As you might recall, he and Jim Jordan were two people that ran for that office. The Republicans had a secret vote. They voted for Scalise like 113 to 99. Needed like 110 votes to get it. So he was the majority, although not exactly a popular majority. And there were a number of Republicans who said they would not vote for him to be the Speaker of the House. So rather than do the Kevin McCarthy route of having 15 votes on the floor, they decided to have closed-door meetings and private votes to see where they were, and they weren't getting there. So Scalise then met with members of the House to try and convince them to vote for him, and it went backwards. He had even less support after meeting with them than before meeting with them. So I guess some folks on the fence decided that they weren't going to vote for him. So also, unlike McCarthy, rather than lose every shred of dignity that he had, he decided to walk away from this, which is probably better for his health anyways. Okay, so now the next question is Jim Jordan going to do that? And the question was asked to him, and he wouldn't comment on it. So the Republicans are a mess. And there's now rumors going around that the Republicans understand that the only way they can elect a Speaker of the House is to reach out to the Democrats to find out what the Democrats want and who they would support. What a shit show this is. Okay, come on down. Let's see. Steve Scalise, why did you drop out? I mean, it's obvious, but what's going on behind the scenes? That's what we want to know. Entertainment purposes only. What's going on behind the scenes? Two of Cups, agreements. Agreements that, or the agreements that they couldn't come to, or what he was going to have to give up to get to those agreements. It's health. He's got those underlying health issues. I don't think he's being honest with us about his multiple myeloma, his blood cancer. I think that this is a much bigger issue than he's been letting on, and he knew he couldn't get the votes he needed, and complicated by this, it wasn't worth the fight. Yeah, he's sick. He needs to heal. Do not be surprised if you see him step down from Congress for health reasons. Okay? Just throwing that out there. I think this is a temperance is a card of purification, and I don't think it's the Republican Party that needs to purify. Knowing he has cancer, blood cancer, I think that is an underlying issue that was underlying why people wouldn't support him. Marjorie Taylor Greene said as much, but she lies a lot, so it's hard to take her at face value. But I think that's also a reality too. And the beat moves on. So we've got the House Speaker, and we're going to keep on. They removed McCarthy. They need to find somebody to drive the chariot, and he is no longer the person to do that. I think he's upset. He's not going to let on, but he's upset. Oh God. You know what this is also? This is his David Duke comment. Blacks and whites. The comment that he made about being David Duke with less baggage, that came back to bite him in the ass too. And my first reading on this one, I think I said as much. Jordan's going to have to deal with the sexual assault of the wrestlers under his watch when he was an assistant coach at Ohio State's wrestling team. And he had to deal with his David Duke comments. I think he's upset that he's not going to get this opportunity to do it, but there's also really strong emotions in that in the Republican caucus, and people do not get along. They do not see eye to eye, and there's nothing that they can do. I'm laughing because I was reading a story. One unnamed person in the GOP came out of that GOP meeting, said if Jesus Christ himself came down, they wouldn't vote to name him Speaker of the House. They couldn't get the votes to get him in there. which, you know, when these fake Christians talk about how the Republican Party is all about God, Jesus Christ and all that. Yeah, I think that guy was telling the truth. If Jesus Christ came down in there, they'd call him a libtard and sure as hell wouldn't make him the head of their caucus. Page of Pentacles. He's got to take care of his health. He's got to take care of his health. And not to mention, you also have this election interference thing that's overarching everything that's going on with the Republicans right now. A lot of these Republicans that are holding out, they are scared stiff of this. And I think they want a Speaker of the House who's going to somehow protect them from their antics on January 6th. So this can go either way with that. This could be about Steve Scalise really needing to take care of his health. But this is also my election interference card. Lesson to be learned. Know when your opportunities are dead. He saw that there was no chance he was going to get this. And rather than continually offer up a little bit of his soul to the MAGA crowds, you know, they would eat his soul one bite at a time before he would get that that seat, and then they would treat him just like they did McCarthy. Yeah, he needs to take care of his health. He absolutely needs to take care of his health. There are so many coins in here that would do that, plus the temperance card underneath it. Yeah, he's got health issues. I mean, we know he has health issues. I don't think he's being honest and forthright with us about how severe those health issues are. Or I should say, when he says it's in remission and he's feeling a lot better, he might be really overstating it. Okay, so that's Scalise. Will Jim Jordan be next on the docket? Will Jim Jordan be the next one up? Yeah, he's got problems of his own. That Liz Cheney one the other day, just reminding us who the traitors are, and do you really want to put the one of the key players in the January 6th insurrection representing the House in charge of the House? Jim Jordan, you're going to go for House Speaker. He's contemplating it. I don't think this is him looking to flee the country. I think he's thinking about it. He is strongly thinking. He's making his plans for it. Kind of like he's waiting to see. Big money push. He might fundraise off it, or there could be big donors that are going to push for Jim Jordan. There's going to be some money in here that's going to be involved with Jordan to push him along. But the Emperor. But underneath it, though, is the Department of Justice. You've got the Department of Justice underneath all this. This could also be Trump underneath, trying to get Jordan in there. And it's funny, there's just an absolute civil war going on right now with the Republicans. And it would take me a long time to explain it, so I'll try and explain it very, very briefly. You have four factions. You have conservatives like the Bush Republicans. You've got the evangelicals. You've got the Tea Party, also known as the Freedom Caucus, and you got the MAGA. And you're kind of going to more extreme versions as you hit each of those parties. And I think the conservatives still make up the majority of the Republican Party, but the other combined factions probably have more people than the conservatives, or it's a close number on it. When the conservatives chose Steve Scalise, Trump was pimping Jordan, so they're kind of thumbing their nose at Donald Trump, or at least Donald Trump couldn't get enough votes to get Jim Jordan to be their choice. So that kind of lets you know that the Republican Party and Donald Trump aren't aligned necessarily. So now that's why I'm saying this could be Donald Trump, because underneath it, Trump was the one that was pimping Jim Jordan. And this is actually risky for Trump if Jordan goes for it, because if Jordan doesn't get in, it shows that Trump doesn't have the oomph and the horsepower to get his selected candidate as the head of the House of Representatives. In the past, we had the Seven of Wands fighting from a position of advantage. But this was my card for Steve Scalise when I first threw on Scalise. This one kept coming up from him. So in the past, Jordan didn't get the vote. Steve Scalise did. But now Steve Scalise has dropped out. So what's going to be the current situation? Current situation is the Seven of Cups. I think the Republican Party as a whole are completely out of their freaking mind. And if they think that they can unite under a single candidate, if you can't unite under Jesus, you know, they wouldn't unite under Reagan. Reagan would be a rhino and a libtard in today's current GOP. The party's unreasonable. They're delusional. There's no way that you can get these people united. And he's delusional if he goes for it. He's just going to get humiliated. The overarching energy is the Knight of Pentacles. I almost want to say it just looks like a fundraiser. If he does it, it's purely for a fundraising opportunity. Is he trying to get, what's he trying to get a value out of this? You know, if he's the House Speaker, that might shield him from January 6th investigations and such, because he'd be in a really powerful position. I think that's one of the big allures to him. But there's going to be a price to pay if he does this, because the wrestlers on his team have already come back out to say, why would you vote for this guy as Speaker of the House? And when he wouldn't even stand up for the young men on his wrestling team when they were being sexually assaulted, and they told him about it, and he did nothing. And that's what this card is. Lessons to be learned. Had he taken care of those young men back in the day, he wouldn't have this public relations problem that he's facing now. And I think he understands the public relations problem. It may not be worth him going forward with this. Yeah, and he's going to face judgment for it. I don't, you know, he might run for it. If he runs for it, he's not going to get in. And if he runs for it, it's going to really bring forward this sexual assault cases that happened at the university, and he will be held accountable again. It's going to hit the news cycle, and they are going to hit him hard with it. And he has to decide, is it worth it? Is it worth it to go for this position? So when Jim Jordan says he's not sure what he's doing, if he's going to do it, I believe that. I believe that it's like, is it worth the cost? Is it worth the cost to go forward with this? Because if I go forward with this, this is coming back up again. And do I want to face this? So he has to decide what he's going to do. He hasn't fully decided yet. But, you know, I'm going to put this video up as soon as I'm done recording and it uploads. So it should be up around 7:30 Pacific time tonight. It's an extra bonus treat for breaking news. All right, so we've got Scalise. We got Jordan. Instead of pimping Liz Cheney like I often do. And I realize that's a lot of you. I know. Liz Cheney voted with Donald Trump 97% of the time. I get it. I get it. I don't like her politics. I get it. But can you imagine the giant FU that the Democrats would give to the Republican Party if one of their conditions for the new speaker is that it's Liz Cheney? You kicked her out, FU. You're putting her back in. And then turn Liz Cheney loose on them. You know, it's kind of like watching professional wrestling and having, you know, the opponents cheating the whole time, and then you finally can tag out to your partner and they clear house. Oh, Liz Cheney. You know, we talk about popcorn with Trump and his indictments. Can you, it'd be pay-per-view to see Liz Cheney taking out the people that kicked her out of her office. You know, Matt Gaetz talking about going from Florida to, was it Montana is where she, going to her home state to protest, to primary against her. You know, Florida legislation, boy, go stay home. Oh, pay-per-view. Popcorn, free popcorn on that pay-per-view. I'd be there. Because we saw what she did on the January 6th committee. Now it's personal. You know, it's personal enough on January 6th. But now turn her loose on the guys that kicked her out of office. Oh, it would be so sweet. But that's not what I'm going to throw on. What I want to throw on is describe to me what's next for the GOP. They have to reach out to the Democrats. They have to reach out to the Democrats because they can't do it on their own. I'm just going to do a four-carder. Everybody, all eyes are on the GOP right now in their dysfunction. And the longer it takes for them to reach out to the Democrats, the more they show their asses to the world. This isn't a horse they're riding, it's a donkey. And they have to go talk to the donkeys if they actually want to elect a House leader. Oh, yeah, because they can't win. They're in a no-win proposition. They've already had one candidate. You know, McCarthy took 15 tries. The next candidate said, hey, heck, no, I ain't doing that. And there's no good choices coming up. They have to reach out to the Democrats. They have no good choices. The world is watching them. And they need to get back to work. It's actually a victory for the Democrats. And Congress needs to get back to work. So you need a Queen of Cups, you know, a woman with her control of her emotions, a very serious-minded woman. Now, I don't know if this could have been Nancy Pelosi, but she's more of a Queen of Swords, and you're going to have to work with Hakeem Jeffries, or it could be Liz Cheney. Okay. I'm not going to throw in Liz Cheney. I'm just going to... I want to... God, you know, do you know how much I want to throw in Liz Cheney right now? But I'm not going to drive some of you nuts. But isn't that why you're here? Now we'll leave it as a mystery. Okay, so... Yeah, Scalise, I think he's got health problems. Jordan, he's got public relations problems. And the Republicans need to reach out to the Democrats. All right, I know they've got other folks they want to nominate. Maybe more traditionally conservative Republicans, but they're going to run into the same issue that the other Republicans do. That they can't get the Republican Party to unite, so you have to go to the Democrats. So who are they going to put up that the Democrats would trust to vote against party lines? Oh, you have to give up the farm. It won't be a Democrat. It's not going to be Hakeem Jeffries. I know you want it to be Hakeem Jeffries. It'll never be Hakeem Jeffries. No Republican will vote for that. That is career suicide for them. It could be a Liz Cheney type person because at least that person is a Republican. So it's not career suicide. It's kind of career suicide for the Republicans, but it's 100% guaranteed if it's Hakeem Jeffries. If you had five or six Republican reps vote for Hakeem Jeffries, they will be kicked out of the Republican Party like that. They are gone. And they will be primaried and out of a job. And then they won't have all that ability to get all the money that these House members seem to get. So they won't do that. And but they have to reach out to the Democrats if they're going to get anything done. And the Democrats have to weigh the political turmoil and the political gains that they're getting from having the world watch this clown car that is or Keystone Cops that are the Republican Party, the dumpster fire that is the Republican Party, versus getting back to getting a budget approved and getting funding for Ukraine and now funding for Israel. Because apparently, you know, as much as the Republicans are saying they back Israel, they don't back them enough to actually want to get united behind a House Speaker and get somebody up there so that they can approve a budget and get funding for Israel. Hypocrisy 101. Thank you for watching this video and supporting my channel. I appreciate it. Thank you for everything you do to feed the YouTube algorithm beast so that my video makes it out to new viewers. And to those new viewers, welcome to the channel. I hope welcome to the Liz Cheney fan club, member number 1. Yay! Okay, I'm not a huge fan of Liz Cheney. I am, but I'm not. Not her politics. Welcome to the channel. I hope you found this reading insightful, and I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.